Struggling Against Sin by Spurgeon. Sermon number 3482. Published on Thursday, October 21st, 1915. I cried with my whole heart, "Hear me, O Lord, I will keep thy statutes." I cry unto thee, "Save me, and I shall keep thy testimonies." Psalm 119, verses 145 to 146. The fear of punishment leads many people to think about their sins, and a dread of hell in the future fills the prospect of their past life with gloom and remorse. This is natural. It may happen to anyone, as it has happened to tens of thousands, that the peril has haunted them till at length the penalty has overtaken them. Although they've been constantly terrified with the sense of the divine wrath, they have never penitently looked to the divine mercy. Thus, they have continued to despond, and they have gone on to despair, and that utter desperation has curdled into a bitter remorse, which has been the forecast of their eternal retribution. But it appears to me that there is a work of grace in the heart where there is a fear of sin rather than a fear of hell, where the desire of the soul is not so much to escape from the punishment as to escape from the guilt which is the cause of the punishment. What thief, what murderer, when he has been arrested, convicted, sentenced, and brought to the gallows, does not wish he had not committed the crime that sealed his doom? Yet there is a wide difference between a dread of suffering for the wrong you have done and a dread of doing wrong. Judge yourselves. If you are under religious impressions of any sort, whether you have merely a fear of punishment, for that is an instinct of nature, or whether you have a fear of abhorrence of sin, for that is the work of divine grace. Now our text exhibits to us the frame of mind of one whose chief prayer was that he might keep God's statutes, and his chief anxiety lest he should fail to observe them. Oh, that you might be brought to the state of heart, those of you who are not saved. And may those of you who are saved have the state of heart perpetually in exercise. A tender heart, a scrupulous conscience, a tenacity of offending God in thought, in word, or in deed should hold us in check every day and every hour. Let us continually cry unto God, save us from violating His precepts, and constrain us to keep His testimonies. I address myself very indiscriminately to all who hear my voice, desiring that the text may prove a test whereby everyone should examine himself. Do we or do we not desire to get rid of every evil way? Are we anxious to be sincere and without offense, holy in our character, and obedient to God's statutes in our lives? The man who really does desire this will be sure to pray for it. I cried, says the psalmist, and then again he says, I cried. Moreover, he combines his prayer with strong resolution. I cried unto thee, hear me, O Lord, I will keep thy statutes. Still further, he seasons his prayer with a deep sense of his own weakness, for he puts it thus, I cried unto thee, save me, and I shall keep thy testimonies. Well then, every man who desires purity of heart and character will betake himself to prayer. While struggling after purity, he will soon discover that he is unable to reach it of himself. Pray often, beloved, for sin will tempt often. Cry mightily, for Satan will tempt mightily. Innumerable snares will he place in your path. Let your countless entreaties outnumber his devices.